Hey all, Peyton Rain here with another In the Crosshairs video, and today I want to look at the Invictor Warsuit, Tactical Warsuit that is actually, as of today, as I'm making this video, it's going up for pre-order. Now I was going to do this video a little bit earlier, but I wanted to kind of wait out a little bit and kind of see what the price is. Now here in the States, actually I'm on the East Coast time, so it's not going to go up for pre-order till about 1 o'clock, so I still haven't seen like on the website how much it's going to cost, but from other sites, it's actually a bit more than the Redemptor Dreadnought. A lot of people are wondering, like, why is that? And I really think it comes down to, of course, rules. You can't really have it be same or cheaper than the Dreadnought because it does something completely different. I think we're already going to see a lot of these on the table once they are, once everyone gets them in their hands. But the big thing is, I mean, aside from like less toughness and stuff like that, it just has much better rules in general. It can move farther, it can steal positions, the weapons on it. It's just, I don't know. I don't know why we'd ever see Redemptors, honestly, unless somebody just wants to play like some kind of a fluffy Dreadnought list, and so that's why they want to have it. But yeah, I feel like these are gonna be on the tabletop more often than they will for the Redemptor. So right now, from what I've seen, the Dreadnought here in the States is $60 US. So my guess is this is probably, or no, it's sorry, I think it's 65 actually. But either way, I feel like this is gonna probably be like an $80 model. I would hope no more than that. 75 if we're lucky, but I'm thinking it's probably gonna be like 80. So. Alright, well, let's jump in and just see what are these awesome rules and just some things that I was thinking and ideas. I'm like, wow, this is probably the only way I'll ever run it. So, yeah, picture this. You're an 8-foot tall, genetically engineered transhuman killing machine in inches thick armor that augments your already formidable physical strength. What could possibly be cooler than that? Well, the answer is wearing a dreadnought. So basically, the Invictor Tactical Warsuit is a way for all those Marines with Dreadnought envy to be able to basically wear a Dreadnought, but without the honor of dying for your chapter. So it's got, yeah, all the looks, none of the honor for those with Dreadnought envy. Alright, so it was designed to be a stripped down Redemptor Dreadnought chassis. In practice, it translated as a beefy profile that can take a real beating before characteristics begin to degrade. So here you see, strength is 7, toughness is 6, 13 wounds, 4 attacks, 8 leadership, 3 up save, and then its tiers. It can move 10 inches at top. Once it drops below 7, so when you have 6 wounds remaining, you're going to be moving 8 inches, which is still a good movement, which is actually the regular Dreadnought movement right now. So you'll still be moving the distance of a regular Dreadnought and hitting on forge, which isn't great, but I mean, if you take the Flamer, your weapon skill doesn't matter a whole lot for your main weapon, at least. Your other weapons, sure, but yeah. And then 1 to 3, 6 inches, so still a pretty decent move, and then 5s. And then, of course, if you're doing Iron Hands, you're always going to double the amount of remaining wounds you have. So, yeah, you're pretty much going to be operating, yeah, you'll drop here until you're down to 1 wound. Like, once you're at 1 wound, you'll finally drop into this bottom tier. Otherwise, you're going to be here or you'll be up here for the whole game, which is really good. So, alright, so unlike the dedicated Dreadnought class walkers, the Warsuit was created merely to act as a bulwark, providing its battle brothers with heavy fire support or a devastating melee presence. The use of lightweight, sound-dampening materials combined with the Invictor's streamlined design allowed for increased speed and relatively stealth. So we have concealed positions. So when you set up your model during deployment, it can be up anywhere in the battlefield, 9 inches away. Like I said, this is most of you probably already seen this or seen other videos going over this, so I'm just kind of skimming through it real quick. So even without the primary augments, the Invictor Tactical Warsuit can cut down waves of lightly armored targets with ease. Between its Frag Storm grenade launcher, 2 iron hail heavy subbers, and a heavy bolter sidearm, which you can shoot like a pistol to blow enemies away within 1 inches. It can fire a total of 10 to 15 shots per turn. Okay, and then we have the Incendium cannon. So this is the big one that I like, which I guess I can't click on it to make it bigger, but we will zoom in this way then. Alright, so the Incendium cannon is a 12-inch range, heavy 2d6, strength 5, -1, damage 1. So obviously, don't make hit rolls. You're rolling your 2d6 for auto hits. That's an awesome weapon. Now, it's been brought up that it can be an anti-flyer weapon potentially because, you know, the auto hit thing, which is pretty good. The only thing there is you have to get it in range, but getting in range shouldn't be too hard. And then the other thing, well, at least if you're especially on like turn 1, if you can get that turn 1 and you can get in there, you could, yeah, I mean, you have a good chance then of being able to hit some flyers. But the other thing is, like, this is going to delete screens. So we already saw that it has a lot of shots, 10 to 15 shots before the main weapon. Then you throw on this. I mean, that is just crazy. And yes, it's only strength 5, but the other thing being, turn 1, you have Devastator Doctrine. So now you are dropping in 9 inches away on turn 1 from deployment zone and enemy models. Then you still get to move 10 inches. And then on top of it, you have 12-inch range with this. So essentially, that's a 22-inch threat range with your flamer. And then on turn 1 with Devastator Doctrines, because it is a heavy, that's a -2 AP instead of -1. So it's, yeah, while it's, strength 5, that's going to be great against, your lower wound stuff. Unfortunately, you're not going to be wounded on any 2s or anything because, the most you'll be doing is 3s because I think the lowest toughness I ever see is toughness 3. So that's still pretty good, though. Be wounding on 3s with a -2 on your turn 1 plus all your other weapons. So then you have alternatively, if you're looking for fire or to support your foes with some armor busting firepower, you basically have this twin ion. I keep saying ion. I don't know why. Iron hail auto cannon. It's a 48-inch heavy 6, strength 7, -1, 2 damage. So the only thing here is it's heavy and there's no power of the machine spirit on the walker. So you're going to be, anything on its profile that says heavy is actually going to be a minus to hit already, unless there's some other rule on there once we get it that I don't know about. Yeah, that's kind of the unfortunate thing with the walkers is, you move and all your heavies are a -1. So, yeah. So the only thing here, though, is you could use that concealed position to set up in a decent spot where you have good range with that 48 inches. So strength 7, -1, again, with it being heavy, it's going to be -2 on your first turn with 2 damage. So that's actually really good, too. You're automatically getting 6 shots with it, so you don't need to worry about rolling. Granted, you can get upwards to 12 hits with the Incendium cannon, but having to know that you have a solid 6 shots, hopefully you roll well with them. But if you set up 9 inches away and you don't move, then you are hitting on your 3s, plus if you have any other characters buffing. But strength 7, -1, which is actually, again, -2 with Devastator Doctrine and 2 damage. That flat 2 damage is nice too, because then again, you have the potential of getting out 12 damage from this walker. So then you have the Invictor Fist. So that's going to be a melee. It is strength ×2 and -3 AP and a flat 3 damage. I roll back up. What was the strength? 7. So it's a 14 for your strength. So 14, -3, and 3. So then it just talks on if you really want to put the fear of the Emperor into your heart of the opponent by the medium of an Invictor Fist through the chest, field 2 or even 3 of these multi-purpose war machines. And I definitely think that will be a thing. I will be surprised if we don't see at least 3 in armies. I definitely know there would probably be 2. I might at least get in 2, and now I'm thinking I might actually get 3. But for me, I think, especially against, like, oh man, if you know who you're playing, you can prepare for their screens, because Tau is a big one that always has screens. And if you bring at least 2 of these with the flamers, you're deleting their screens, and now they're whatever Riptides or Storm Surges are wide open for, I don't know, maybe the Executioner to come in with its laser destroyer and just destroy it. Imperial Knights, same. Just lots of stuff. Another thing people kind of talked about, or maybe not really have talked about, is this right here, the suppressors. Using the suppressors in tandem with the Warsuit, I think, is kind of good. A lot of people, I feel like, have really not used the suppressors, or found their rules or their use kind of limited. But I think this actually showcases a good I don't know, spot where they actually come in handy. Real quick, I want to point out they have the auto cannons as well. They have like a suppression rule. I think I have a few of these because I actually picked a few up off of eBay to do it. Well, yeah, actually I have a few from my what is it called? The Storm. Fire Raptor. That's what it is. For my Fire Raptor that I didn't use because I went with heavy bolters instead of the auto cannon. So I actually might use those and put them on here because, let's be honest, those are not auto cannons. Those are heavy stubbers. I mean, you can look right next door. It just looks like a little bit bigger caliber heavy stubber. So if anything, you could have made this like a strength 6 or something. But it's not an auto cannon thing. So I'm probably going to switch out those barrels with actual auto cannon type barrels so it looks the part. I do know that GW has said many times before that model design and production happens before rules production. So if someone gets the model and then they might have said like, well, this looks like that, but we need something with bigger punch, so we're going to call it an auto cannon. Anyway, back to what I was talking about though with the suppressors is because they can deep strike or grav shoot in, or whatever they call it now, you can set them up somewhat close to support the tactical warsuits. So then that way, I would split fire if you bring one. You can split fire them 3 different targets, and the hope is you want to kill a target not kill a target or kill a model, but at least do a wound to the unit, and then they are suppressed and they cannot fire Overwatch. So I think that's pretty huge because if you have the the Warsuit coming in 9 inches away, moving 10, and then hopefully deleting things within 12 inches of its flamer, then charging another screen, you want to, especially with something like Tau with their supportive fire thing that they have, you want to be able to, make them not be able to fire Overwatch. So if you have even just one unit of suppressors, and you could split fire them at 3 different things, hope for some wounds. Ideally, you're going to get wounds on 3 different targets. So anything potentially 3 units within range are not going to fire Overwatch, which could be huge, which could be anything that was in range to fire Overwatch. So I think that's a pretty big thing, and yeah, I can definitely see the use of them now. Especially, I'm not sure yet how I want to do it. If that's what I'm going to do, I would definitely get my suppressors on the field for sure, versus just sitting right now. But I could definitely see that being huge. So, yeah. And let's go down. Let's see what we got. If there's anything else. So here's just the pictures of the different things. So you can put the pistol in the hand. To me, it looks a little awkward there, actually. Like, I was kind of surprised it doesn't look, but it might be because of the way this arm is. I definitely may have to find a way to pose this, because I definitely want to do something like this with it in his hand. But then I also, want to do something with that flamer to definitely make it look like he's employing all his weapon systems. I also thought about, maybe holstering this and just for fun, making a giant combat knife type of thing for him to have, which is one thing that this was really what they wanted. Well, I say really. I mean, the Invictor Power Fist is pretty nice, but that'd be pretty cool if you had like another melee weapon option, where you could even maybe just switch this whole arm out, and instead of having a fist, you just had like a sword or a chain sword or something, kind of like the Imperial Knights. But I want to do a fairly big size combat knife thing just to do kind of a crossover thing with Avatar, where they had the suits that pulled out like this big combat knife. So I thought that would be kind of a funny thing, and it also would look probably pretty cool. So, but yeah, I really like the rules for this here. Like, so I'll probably end up getting 3 of these. 2 of them are going to be with this, and I might do 1 with that. I could magnetize, but I don't know. We'll see. I've lately been kind of, I don't know, going away from magnets more, just because I usually have a loadout that I like, and then I keep it that way. But I'll usually get like at least two Warsuits or whatever the model is, and do them as the different loadouts. So I would do one this way, and that way I can swap them out. This just seems so good to me. I don't know why I wouldn't have 2 of them. So I feel like I want to get 2 of them and then just have one of these on deck if I ever need it. And then, of course, down the road, if rules change and one thing gets worse, one thing gets better, then I at least have one already ready to go. So that's kind of what I do now. But that can get expensive if you don't, I guess, budget correctly. So, yeah. So far it's been all right. The only thing is like the Redemptor Dreadnought, or not Redemptor, the Repulsor. I definitely did not buy enough to do all the combinations that you can do there. I pretty much found the loadouts that I liked, and I did that. The main one was just the main guns, swapping those out. But everything, I didn't put a heavy stubber on any of them for my pindle mount weapon. I just did the onslaught cannon for all of them. I just kept that the same, and then swapped out the main weapons for the las talon or the heavy onslaught, and that's pretty much what I did there. And then I really like grenades because it helps. They're just a great screen when you get charged, being able to pump out as many shots as you can with those. Yes, the range isn't great, but I like being able to, one, either barrel them in because it is a transport. So if I'm moving that thing fast up the field, it's going to be in range fairly soon, and just being able to pump out a bunch of shots is nice. So, and then with that Devastator Doctrine now, turn 1, or at least by turn 1 and however long you keep it active, grenades are getting a -1 on their AP, so that's pretty awesome too. But anyway, back to the Warsuit. Alright, so that's the end of the article there. Please let me know what you think. Are you excited about this? Are you going to pick up 5, 10, however many? Like I said, I'm definitely going to pick up 2 of them, eventually probably 3. But the other big thing, again, is going to be that price. When I finally see that price here, I got a couple hours before I get confirmation of that. I could probably scoot around on the web and find it, but that's going to be the biggest driving force, as it is with all this stuff. Plus, honestly, I might actually wait. Normally, I like to pre-order and get these things right away, but I've got Nova coming at the end of the month that that's a pretty big expense, so I'm probably going to actually wait to pick this up until after Nova. And pretty much with the rest of the stuff, the new stuff. However, that doesn't change. I still have the homebrew chapter contest. If you haven't seen that video, please check it out. And if you're interested and you have a homebrew chapter, go ahead and send over 3 pictures and a brief write-up on the background lore of your chapter, because you can get a chance to win the Impulsor and the box of Infiltrator and Cursors. So at the very least, I know I will be ordering a set of those for the giveaway, which it's looking like right now is actually going to be up for pre-order next Saturday. I thought they might release the rest of this, but they're kind of dragging it out more, which, I mean, it makes sense. So look for next Saturday anyway is when I'll be announcing the winner. The 21st by midnight Eastern time or I guess it's the 20th technically. So the night of the 20th going into the 21st at midnight, so in between these 2 days right here at midnight is the cutoff Eastern time for entering that contest. So only, 1, 2, 3, 4, about 4.5 days or so right now left. Then I'm going to collect them all, do the video, and then I'll be putting out the poll, and then the community will vote on their favorite chapters, and then after that, on the 24th, I will announce the winner. So, pretty excited for that, so look for that. And if you haven't already, please check out the rest of the YouTube channel. Hit that like button, that subscribe, it'd be a great help, definitely. And then if you haven't, again, check out the Facebook page, which will be in the description below, and see what I got going on there. I update that pretty regularly, as unfortunately my daytime job doesn't let me do this all day. So, but yeah, and with that, I will say until next time.